Hello, Facebook Live people. I'm Adam. I am doing another poet I think should be in the modern poetry canon. In honor of this poet named Brian S. Ellis, I'm wearing a very loud hoodie. Brian did not wear any loud hoodies that I can remember, but I did often see him wear a pair of gold leggings as a shirt, and he was often wearing marching band attire, and if I had that, I would be wearing that. But instead, this is a loud hoodie that I intended to return because I didn't actually like it, but then I was in a coma and therefore unable to return it during the return delivery window. So now I'm wearing it for Brian. It's sort of spacey. These poems are good. You should buy all of Brian Ellis's books, but I will be reading from Yesterday Won't Goodbye, which is a Write Bloody book, which you can buy from writebloody.com. All right. That's the thing from Alien with a Furby face. Caesarean. I was born wrong. I did so much turning inside of my mother when I came out. The tube that was meant to feed me had become a noose, broke my legs, nearly strangled me. Julius Caesar was born this way. There was something wrong with him, too. He believed he could generate law through conquering. We're not supposed to dream that big. When I grow up, I want to be Saturn because it looks fast and almost as exciting as the wind. I never said I wanted to be the president when I grow up, but I would make an amazing first lady. It combines all of my favorite activities into one. I could fly around the world to humanitarian efforts and hug a lot of people, make stirring speeches about jazz and baseball referencing slightly obscure characters from the American Revolutionary War. At night, Abigail Adams comes to me in my dreams. She says, "Brian, stop making excuses for your fathers. They had it all wrong. The voice, the vote, and the bondage. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe if I were a man, they would have listened to me." Abigail, I know how you feel. I've wanted to be a man my whole life, but the closest I've ever been able to manage is Saturn. Like all the planets I turn in my sleep, I've been doing it since before I was born. My body is a nightmare. It hurts me every day. I've been taught to resent it by boys trying to forge themselves righteous through conquering. They knew there was something wrong with me. It was explained through hands that spoke only in exclamation points. Just because we do not see them with our telescopes doesn't mean new genders aren't out there. We know so very little about the sky. When I grow up, I don't want to be old. I don't want to be young either. I don't want to be the age of 56, 64, 14, 18, 21, or 25. I am the way I feel about the nature of law. I am the way I feel about the nature of the human heart and the connection between those two things. Just because my strength is not vast and fat like Jupiter, I was supposed to be fast. I was supposed to be quiet. But me and Abigail, we're through with being quiet. I was born with broken legs. You'll excuse me if I stand. This is called Time Travelers. If baseball caps had a smell, his car would have reeked of it. Smelled of hockey games, Coors Original, and blood. Adam stood in the middle of the road to stop him, but the man behind the wheel told us he was planning to stop, that he had seen us before that day. His dashboard said we had been hitchhiking for 12 hours, stranded on the side of 95 for the last 7. The roar of the highway is so strong, but it seems to come from inside your chest. The highway is a lot of empty space hiding in plain sight. That afternoon, we swept up the crag-toothed coast of southern Maine, the speed of our begging bringing us to farmland foothills where our inertia unraveled, and we saw that movement was not control. Our feet slowly battered by the first frost-tinged September road. We would have gotten in that car with anyone. And here he was, drunk, swerving, He never told us his name. His words spilled out with a hint of violence, the passenger door not quite staying shut, sickly dome flickering light. I thought that the brimstone slingshot of carelessness would bring me freedom. This is the falling sensation that shakes me every time I open my eyes again. There was no home on the other side of distance, only more of my body, and my body is made mostly of hunger. Shivering and stupid thumb on the side of everywhere I did not find freedom. In baseball cap careening Oldsmobile. There was no freedom. He brought us to his house, offered us the bar, but we kept moving. Adam and I slept in the dirt, huddled together, temperature a handful of degrees above freezing, exploring the detailed ache of becoming soil, our dull meat shredding into pearls of moss in the sharp mouth of the night. Non-sleeping under a bush in the middle of a field, 200 miles from the couch I called my home. The madness of location seized me, wrung out my skin and every last drop of heat. When the last of my chattering dreams twitched out from my teeth, curled at the base of an impossible dark, the earth stood up. Towering above me, her crystalline landslide face pockmarked with spears of starlight. When she looked at me, I knew that I had made no mistakes in my life. I had only caused suffering. That even if my superstitious organs were to give out this night, no decision I made to bring me here would be wrong. The reality of death is a lesson in our own perfection. The earth looked at me and she said, "Nothing is unsacrificable. If you hunt me, I will strip you down to your deeds. Don't you know that birth is a constant equation?" Then, against all odds, as if to cut a massive period into the vacuum of time, the sun lifted its tongue from out of the mountains and into the sky. Gracious unemployment. Last night, between rereading the Wikipedia entry on Amelia Earhart and drinking that warm 40-ounce my roommate's friend left behind 2 days ago, I made a Facebook profile for my cat. Good morning, 11:30. I am unemployed. Gracious unemployment, so eager to welcome me into the boozy mire of you. Time is lying incapacitated at your feet, like a blind man you hit in the face with a crowbar, his teeth splashing and bouncing across the days of the week like the bathroom walls of a strip club in New Jersey. How we come to mark our days by the accumulation of small, broken promises. I'm going to bring in that application to Popcorn Galaxy after the weekend. It actually would be really good for me. How easy it is to mistake survival for living. How quickly we become house pets. On Saturday, I spent 6 hours just flopping around like a diseased turtle. Every morning, the carpet tries to dupe me into becoming a part of it. Without work, my work has become being anything but a hallway. My work is to keep my home from transforming into anything else. Suns and moons disappear behind buzzing monitors. The names of dead gods splinter under the weight of motionless, while hunger looms like the opposite of a birthday. Alone, I am forced to fashion purpose without a punch clock or push broom dreams, renaming days and hours based upon the frequency of showers and masturbating. There is so much poverty inside of me. Its language is fear. Fear's alphabet is a song of paralysis. From within paralysis, I will learn what the burn of muscle is willing to live for. I must climb out the well of myself. I must learn how to wear my name unseen. 1 a.m. This hour will disappear before the light comes on. Shoplifters. Strike that. Criminal. The third greatest shoplifter of Barnstable County in 2002 is Aunt Phil, a young man with almost no criminal intent but a cosmic and mystical sort of absent-mindedness. And do they not? And do they not still tell the story of the entire rotisserie chicken Aunt Phil ate inside of a Stop and Shop and left without paying? The second greatest shoplifter of Barnstable County in 2002 is Crap Hog, for his tortoise-like determination over stealing. When the rest of us become bored or start worrying about our luck, Crap Hog will continue to make off with 3/4 foot scale PVC Alien vs. Predator playset from Spencer's Gifts. His apartment looked like Newberry Comics vomited on itself. The greatest shoplifter of Barnstable County in 2002 is Hobbs Forrest, the most nimble, invisible 6'5" man you've never seen. His sleeves were vacuums. His knuckles, magnets. He could deactivate sensor tags with a wink. Empty DVD cases like crumbling leaves. The employees of Best Buy theorized that there was a man who could manipulate the iron content of his blood to electromagnetically disrupt security cameras. When we become what we are, it happens quickly. I don't know if I believe in inevitability, but I know that the winds of Cape Cod are restless, and when my hands are empty, they whistle something furious. We had nowhere to go, so we would drink in my car. 80 ounces in, we had a plan. We knew a house, a retiree on vacation. The sound of a house alarm is louder than your ability to imagine it. It will cleave your thoughts. You have to know the floor plan in advance. You have to piece together scraps of eardrum and adrenaline to finish what you started. There are only so many vocations for those who can rush blindly into the dark. I wish that you could see me when I run. I am so calm, so beautiful. Doors and locks will melt under the shoulders of 6'5" men. It doesn't matter. Law is not a thing that exists in books, in words, in guns, in flashlights, in pieces of metal. Law is not the sky and not in the soil. You can't outrun your own heart's faith in sin. Some of us are criminals. This is one of my all-time favorite Brian Ellis poems. It's called Letter from My Voice. Dear Brian Stephen Ellis, stop being afraid of the world. Yours sincerely, your voice. P.S. Stop blaming things on the insects. Stop blaming things on the scathing eyes of men. Stop blaming things on sand and money and the sun. Remember that your stomach is outside of your body and your heart is just mystery waiting to become color. You have tried to hide me in the paper sack of your intestines, in the gamble shiver fist of your liver. You have tried to hide me in your eyes, the alarm clocks your mother built from snow globes and owl feathers. Instead, I learned to scream from your tear ducts. I will abuse you until you claim me. Have you seen the inside of your lungs lately? They're covered in bruises. I've been ripping nightmares out through your larynx, like tearing sheets of wool from your ventricles. Now you cough up mobiles of twilight. Brian, your past is a motel. Every muscle in your body is a room. Hidden behind those doors are boys you should have evicted long ago. The teenager that let life slip through knuckle-heavy fingers, the screaming adolescent that punched himself in the night, the grade school insomniac with tear and snot-scarred face, the little boy who begged God to take his imagination away so he could finally sleep. I never fit inside of those children. Do not let the knife wound of your cesarean birth chase you to the grave. When you speak, echo every gulp of oxygen ancestor sacrificed to bring you to life. When you speak, Lift the ships of ghosts in your vein into the air. When you speak, make the bell of your throat the champion of blisters. Do not let the muscle shiners and the pollen-lipped convince you that you are small. Do not let the greeditarians and the cocksafe look down their easy answers at you. When you speak, make the billows of your lungs the mouth of the Atlantic. When you speak, whip your crooked teeth into a savage halo. Bravery will never belong to the beautiful. Remember that you are a conduit of the wind and admit to me that you can fly. I am the only thing you will ever own. I am your voice. I am your only chance at freedom. So the last one, it's about a house that's not too far from where I'm doing this, in Jamaica Plain. It's called Many Mansions. When two adult men share the same bedroom, people come to one of a handful of simple conclusions. The word genius is almost never mentioned. When 6 people live in a 4-bedroom apartment, your coworkers snark. You make soup in bulk. Even intimate dinners are a party. The landlord starts to call, but I fell out of romance with the telephone years ago. I fell out of bed September 1st and found a note from Michael Jordan written on the hubcap of a Volkswagen Beetle. It read, 2001 was 5 years ago. American culture needs to begin again. Everyone needs to stop living at the end of time. Sincerely, Air Jordan symbol. P.S. You need to work on your layup. You don't win games without the basics. When me and my 11 best friends moved into a 3-story house, it was not a metaphor for my body only. The bathroom became a barbershop. The living room is a newspaper and radio station and a cabaret. The kitchen is a blogosphere. We talk loudly about all the damage the invention of the microwave has done as a tool of isolation. Loud enough for the satellites to hear. We replaced our refrigerators with a cow. Family is a group of people that makes your individuality stronger. It rarely has anything to do with blood. Human is the being of distance. We see ourselves most clearly in moments of love and pain and madness. When we are stranded outside of the world, we have been making room inside our whole lives. Human is the primate that saw the open plains and said, I will go there. The space inside my heart will always be greater than the entrance, so I will have to grow larger. It is difficult to let anyone in, but I will go there with you. When we let others into our hearts, space is not lost, but gained. The room of us is growing all the time. There will always be room for you. In my house, there are many mansions. This is a path I chose long ago. Thanks, everybody. Good hanging out with you. Like I said, there might be another one in an hour or so. There might not. Might not happen until tomorrow. But I think the next one is probably going to be Jennifer Knox, A Gringo Like Me, which will go out to the Gringo Choir. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you.